The current ratio measures the company's ability to pay its current liabilities using its current assets. And so if you're thinking about being an investor in a company, it's an identifier of risk, because we're able to see how able the company is if all of their current liabilities, meaning due within less than a year, became due today. Do they have the assets that they need to cover all those liabilities? And so the calculation is total current assets divided by total current liabilities. And it looks like this slide is missing assets here. And a higher ratio is better. But remember that it's important that when we're reviewing any ratios, that we're also taking into consideration what is the industry average, our past performance, and that of our competitors that we'd want to compare to. That goes hand in hand with industry performance. But the reason for that is because that helps put in perspective what is a good ratio, and what is a good ratio for one industry might look different for another industry. And so then also, just to kind of explain this ratio a little bit better, if the ratio was 1.5, what that means is that the business has $1.50 worth of assets for every, and I should say current assets, $1.50 of current assets for every $1 of current liabilities. So that means it could pay off its current liabilities and still have 50 cents per every dollar spent. So a current ratio of 1, on the other hand, would be considered low and somewhat risky, because that means we could pay off the liabilities and there would be nothing left. And so in this slide, we can just see an example. And what's nice is that in this chapter, we created a classified balance sheet. So now, by having that classified balance sheet, you'll quickly have current assets and current liabilities broken down and be able to calculate this ratio really quickly. And so it shows us 2 years, 2018 and 2019, current assets and current liabilities. And so they divided current assets by current liabilities to get $1.77 in 2019 and $1.99 in 2018. And so technically both of those current ratios could be considered good. They're above $1.50, so that's a good thing. But you also need to consider it's gone down. So it was $1.99, and now in 2019 it's $1.77. So that ratio is going down. And so we would want to look into that and ask what has changed or why it's going down. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, but it would warrant some additional exploration.